Ahoy! This is Reverie. Today we will be discussing what is a good man individualistically. What qualities must a man have to better himself? We will not be discussing what a man has to offer to society, rather what a man has to offer to himself and the ones he loves. What should the values of man be to be considered a good man? The truth is, any man can become a good man. However, not everyone has or will develop what it takes to become one. What you need are liberty, compassion, and backbone.
Starting with liberty, or in other words freedom, beginning with these definitions as the basis: the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint, and or the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. Now, a good man expresses his own freedom through the ability of enacting his own will, desires, and needs into the decisions he makes for himself and his loved ones that rely on him or have a stake by their being involved in his life through familial, friendly, or romantic relationships. He moves forward keeping in mind his future ability to do as he pleases, while also ensuring the same thing for his chosen kin. He does not put up with restraints or situations that would keep him from his self-determination, even perhaps to the point where he reevaluates his associations with those he loves, judging the history, benefits, and cost. A good man values the self as much as love and seeks to find balance between the two, because it is true. The more people you involve in your life will limit your capacity to express your own freedom, especially depending on the types of connections you hold with these various other individuals. A man can go out of his way to be completely self-absorbed and selfish, seeking solely to fulfill what he believes is required out of his own existence. But when you do this, you endanger your own humanity by departing from a fundamental part of the human condition, which is relations with other people. So I believe that in order to be a good man, a man should hold both a sense of duty while acting freely to himself and the close, and is able to balance freedom so that both sides may benefit the most. I'm indicating, though, that beyond this group being the good man in his own, it's another case entirely, because man's role in wider society is another issue I will not be delving into at this time, because for me, first come the person and what matters to him before the wider field of society, nation, or nature.
We cannot speak of liberty without talking about ambition. It is because of ambition do we seek and value liberty. To help set the fields, I have a quote from George S. Patton. Battle is the most magnificent competition in which a human being can indulge. It brings out all that is best. It removes all that is base. All men are afraid in battle. The coward is the one who lets his fear overcome his sense of duty. Duty is the essence of manhood. A man's duty to himself and his dreams must be faced with magnificence, honor, and strength. This in essence cannot be done alone. You need good companions to join your path. You must also understand that these companions are not your employees. They want to be with you because of your character and in hope that you will see glory, and perhaps give them glory as well. It is important to surround yourself with people who share a similar goal as you, a similar ambition or desire. Complete liberty excludes man from society, but even more so, complete liberty shuns the ones who have been there through thin and thick. Like all things, there must be a balance between the individual and the ones dear to him. A man sometimes must act without the community in mind, and when acting in such ways, you must still consider how your actions could harm the ones close to you. Compassion is what keeps a man from being too humanless in his ambition. It is not an easy task at times when you need to balance your liberty with compassion. You wish to dedicate more time towards your goals, yet you know it has been a while since you've seen your friends, family, and lover. And that can take a toll on your relationship with them. Even though they are understanding of your situation, you must keep some form of compassion and remain in touch with your close ones. A good man does not feel forced to take off time from their dreams to spend it with the ones he cares for.
Now, backbone. the last feature or quality that we believe makes a good man. It's the ability for him to stand up for himself and the deer, and as well keep himself from being involved in situations that would threaten the well-being of both parties. I don't refer in any particular sense to a man's physical strength, wit, or intelligence, which can definitely be traits associated with this idea, and genuinely are all wonderful skills or powers to have. What I do reference, though, is the spirit, heart, or even more so the ability to say no, mental endurance, or even a tad bit of pluck. Because without this, he at baseline is just not even a man. This ties perfectly into liberty also, because without the capacity to refuse and stand up against what would or could be wrongs done to you or the loved, then one sets themselves up to be crushed or enslaved to some machine. Of course, there can be negatives when one has too much spine. It can end up becoming thorns and spikes, which instead of showing bravery or volition, displays insecurity, weakness, and even more so in the case of such turning to violence, just beastliness. Stand up for yourself and hell, be rough, and in some way show strength, but in the process do not become an unbearable thing that is a detriment to the self or others, in other words, a monster. Tying as well to compassion, seek compromise when possible, for there are many advantages to giving an ear, but do not give so much an ear you are seduced into disadvantage or harm, especially when it is a complete affront to who you are. That being, when a man's backbone should be stronger than rock and hold its own weight up. In conclusion, liberty, backbone, compassion, all make a good man, for these are aspects which heighten him from being an animal and being a servant to some other guy, woman, or larger entity up high. He self-determines, listens, and is able and knows when to act. All men are capable of this, and I would urge every man, especially myself, to hold this as a state of being to achieve, for even if you are not out to aid something larger with these aspects, you can help yourself and who matters most to you. And, well, anyways, that's what we had to say. Let us know in the comment section what you think. If you disagree, agree, and your own ideas on what makes a good man. We'd love to read. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and check us out on Discord and Facebook. Links in the description. This is Reverie with John and Simone. Godspeed.